I still feel like I'm getting into that back to work routine from the holidays, right? This happens every year. You have such a fun time over the Thanksgiving and you kind of spread that over through the weekend, and then Monday comes along and you just kind of deal with it as best you can. I'm starting to feel like I'm a little bit more back in the groove. I hope you are as well, as you're doing whatever you've got on your schedule for today and for the rest of the week. And our weather is really going to cooperate for the most part today and tomorrow. Thursday, though, be ready. That's going to be one of those weather awareness days. Make sure that you are sort of keeping an eye on what's happening around us as far as the weather is concerned. We'll of course dive in and discuss all that. But right now, when we look across the city of Houston, we've got partly cloudy skies, definitely seeing a little bit of blue in there, some sunshine that's working its way through. Breezy at some folks with an east wind of around 14 miles an hour. And remember, that east wind's very neutral. It doesn't really impact us a whole lot on our temperatures as far as making it warmer or colder, but you will notice the skies continuing to clear throughout the afternoon. So again, a quiet morning, and then here's those clearing skies once we get into the afternoon hours, and it'll be a little bit warmer than what we were able to do yesterday. Most of that having to do just with the fact that we've got some sunshine, and then when we get into the evening hours, we'll be back down into the upper 40s for most of us again, but will be again a cool night. And we'll actually start to see some clouds building back in for tomorrow. So here's kind of where we're headed as we move through the week. We've talked about, again, today being a really nice, pleasant day to have some outdoor plans. And then tomorrow we'll be transitioning a little bit more. We're going to do a little bit of the opposite of today as far as the skies are concerned. We'll be adding some clouds back in. And then by the late parts of the day of tomorrow, we actually could have a few showers. But we're definitely looking for rain pretty much all day on Thursday, and when we get to the afternoon, some of those storms are going to be a little bit stronger possibilities as well. So temperatures aren't going to be quite as much of a factor. As I mentioned, today we're in the lower 60s, tomorrow mid 60s, and then we're going to hover right around 70, give or take a little bit, as we move it through the weekend and as we deal with some rain as well past Thursday. When we look at the next 5 days as far as our rain expectations are concerned, we'll definitely going to add up an inch or two of rain here in southeast Texas. Some of those isolated areas could even add up more than that. And these rain chances on Wednesday, this is definitely later in the day, pretty much sunset or later. So during the daytime, I don't expect very high rain chances for tomorrow, but then Thursday, as I mentioned, pretty much all day, and then Friday, primarily it'll look for some coastal showers, and most likely it would be earlier in the day overall. Temperatures, you've probably noticed, as we talked about, a little bit milder. We're looking for 4 to 5 degrees warmer right now compared to where we were 24 hours ago, and we'll kind of keep that pattern, at least a couple, 2 to 3 degrees, probably closer to 4 to 5 degrees warmer as we continue to move through the day for most of the day. So here's where we are setting right now, 55 degrees up in Huntsville. Folks over in Katy at 57 degrees. Pearland also at 55 degrees. Down in Galveston, we have 60 degrees for the current temperature. The Fox Red Storm Seeker radar not seeing any rain, and we don't expect it today. It's really tomorrow when we start picking that up. And we talked about those skies clearing. Well, you can see that here when we look at the last several hours of our satellite imagery. And again, I've got the radar on here as well, and there's just no rain to really talk about. So a quick look at the bigger picture. There's definitely some cooler air across portions of the U.S. We've got a couple different storm systems that we're tracking, kind of keeping an eye on a little bit. I think if you've got any connections up to the northeast in portions of New York and Pennsylvania, we're definitely seeing quite a bit of this lake effect snow. So what I've got showing you right now is just radar and temperatures. So anything where you see this white, those aren't clouds, that's snowfall that's taking place. And then you can see over offshore is where we're seeing some of the rain. So pretty much the majority of the precipitation falling right now in the northeast is in some form of snow, and portions of this lake effect snow could create as much as 2 feet of snow from today and into tomorrow. So some of that's certainly going to add up, and this is sort of that big first batch of snow for this part of the country. But what we're focused on a little bit more is off the Pacific coast. You can see this big swirl happening. This is that upper level low, and this is going to be the storm system that brings us that rainy day on Thursday and potentially even a stormy day on Thursday. So severe weather when we're talking about damaging winds, large hail, even isolated chances for tornadoes. For tomorrow, no, we're not looking for that. It's probably just going to be some average thunderstorms. You'll notice on our scale here. But when we switch to Thursday, we're going to up that to that 2 out of 5 risk. That's a 15% probability in the yellow shading here that we could see some isolated to scattered severe storms, not just a thunderstorm, but severe thunderstorms. So you'll notice Houston in the bullseye there as far as that's concerned. So be ready to stay connected as this storm system enters into southeast Texas during the day on Thursday. And add into that as well the excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center, basically saying 5% chance that we could see some sort of flooding. We're not centered up on this one like Louisiana is, so Louisiana is certainly looking at the possibility of some flooding. This will still be relatively short-term street flooding sort of situations, but it's something, again, we need to be ready for as we get to the afternoon. Probably that commute home will be impacted by that on Thursday. So here we go back to our Futurecast as we're going to kind of put all this together. We've got that cool day for today, and then overall we transition into Thursday. You see all those storms beginning to move on through and then continuing to bring quite a bit of rain for the folks over in Louisiana. I'm ending this at 10 p.m. on Thursday, so the clearing should start much later in the day on Thursday. All right, so for our almanac, let's just sort of focus, I guess, on our record, on our averages at this point. We're normally at 69 and we're normally at 49 in the mornings. So far we've only made it up to 55. We won't make it up to 69, but we will make it up into the lower 60s for those high temperatures today. That sunshine is really going to feel good. I think it's really going to be a pleasant day overall to get out and try to enjoy it. So here are those clearing skies in our Futurecast, and then when we get into tonight, we'll be cool once again. And then when we watch the clouds building back in throughout the day tomorrow to where we're at least mostly cloudy, and then you'll notice we start to see the rain beginning to form out to our west. So here's what we've got in that 7-day forecast. 62 today, 66 tomorrow in the afternoon. We'll have those mornings tomorrow morning back into the lower 40s. Definitely a washout of a day on Thursday, potentially even some dangerous storms on Thursday. As I've said, let's make sure that we're staying connected. We're not going to be settled, though, for a while. We're keeping some rain chances around. This front is sort of going to stall out a little bit, and it will not change our chances of, it's not going to change our temperatures a whole lot because it's coming from the Pacific and not necessarily a Canadian or an Arctic front. But it will bring us those rain chances, and then we'll keep some rain chances around again for Saturday and Sunday. All right, that's going to do it for our morning weather update as usual. However you're